Okie dokie. Open Unity. Okay, so I'm just gonna hit play here and kind of walk folks through and get everybody caught up. This is uh, basically I'm working through a tutorial, like a course uh, that teaches you how to um, basically make games in Unity, in the Unity game engine. Um, and the course is basically broken down into a series of different projects. And each project is, a certain amount of time, and then they'll teach you certain concepts. And the idea is over the course of like 7 or 8 projects, you learn the fundamentals of Unity. So the very first game they start you off with is a pretty simple one. It's like a very simple sort of obstacle course kind of a thing where you're just getting to becoming familiar with like how to place cubes and spheres in an environment and apply physics to them. And uh, it's a game, but it's a real simple game. Then from there you move on to a game that's slightly more complicated. And then this is the third game in the series where they teach you how to make a on rails shooter that's kind of like Star Fox. And so everything that you're seeing here is just what I have been kind of putting together in the course of making or in the course of doing that tutorial. None of this is intended to be like, oh yeah, this is this is hopefully going to make it into the final game. The only thing that is hopefully going to make it into the final game are the models that you're seeing, the ship and the enemies that we've been flying past and shooting. Those are all modeled by Chris in Blender and imported into Unity. And you can see we've added animation to these enemies so they can kind of fly around in wave formation patterns. They can also sort of like hover in front of and kind of harass the player. A lot of the other ships that you can see in the canyon aren't really moving. That's because I haven't programmed any animation into those.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and yeah, so without going like through the entire course about like all the different things that we've added to the game, we've basically gotten to the point where the game has enough of the pieces in the sandbox that we can start putting together a sort of like prototype draft level. We've got a ship that flies around on a rail. We've got enemies that you can shoot and they blow up. You've even got a score counter up in the top left there. And we also have a boss, which is in this like crater up here. Because one of the other like limiting the scope ideas that we had for this game was we were just going to create 4 enemies. There were going to be 3 basic enemies. In this level, currently you're only seeing, actually, I'm going to stop this so I can show you the other enemies. If I go to my scenes and go to, oh, nope, that's not that one. Scenes in here. Go to the construct and go to the
Something
player ship.
interesting is happening, Michael. Usually your fly through is I mean, the first round is choppy, but the second time is smooth. So
Mhm.
currently it's super choppy. So I'm very curious as to how it will. Oh, actually it looks somewhat smooth now. It's still a little choppy.
The are you still seeing the fly through, or you're looking
No,
at me moving around in the construct?
I'm in the construct right now.
Gotcha. Okay. And this seems pretty smooth.
It's definitely a lot smoother than before.
Hmm.
And I don't think it's the OBS issue. I think it's Zoom. Because on Zoom, it actually is chopping on Zoom.
Yeah, I think Zoom's frame rate is pretty awful.
Yeah, yeah.
So
I'm
yeah,
sorry. Yeah,
because
yeah.
no, it's totally fine. Yeah, because I'm looking at it on the Twitch stream, and yeah, I can see how choppy it is.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, I don't know. I think that's probably going to have to be a trade-off in terms of streaming here. Like whoever is hosting the stream, when
Right,
they're sharing content, it's going to look really smooth and great. But
right.
whatever content is being shared through Zoom is going to look
Yeah,
not so great.
yeah.
Unless there's a way for us to like both simultaneously be streaming to Twitch and then just like joining up the channels
You know
somehow.
what? There is a way to do that. It's I forgot what the thing is called, but I've seen it done before. Two people are on their own platform streaming,
Hmm.
and it's essentially combined into it's linked. It's not combined, it's linked.
Hmm.
So one person watches your stream and the other person is watching some other people is watching your stream and my stream. They all
Hmm.
are looking at the two different streams, but the two streams are more or less linked simultaneously. So people from my stream can knows that you are also, in the stream as well. I think it's called squad or something like that, like a squad stream.
Interesting.
Yeah, yeah. It's not
Okay.
one combined stream. It's more like separate streams, but Twitch lets the viewers know that it's, it's happening simultaneously and that we're actually talking together.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah,
Okay. Well,
yeah.
maybe as we continue to advance our
Hmm,
Twitch
hmm.
capabilities, we can figure that out.
Yeah,
But in the meantime,
yep,
uh, please bear with us that,
yeah,
the Zoom functionality is going to have some choppy frame rate
yeah.
situation.
Stupid
But
Zoom.
anyway, what we're looking at now in Zoom are these beautiful models that Chris has made. We've got, and on the far right here, this is our player ship, which we took us a while to get to this. We went through several concept pieces. We're doing like sort of 2D silhouette profile shapes. We went through a couple rounds of those to see what we liked. And then Chris took that and modeled it in 3D. And even that, what you're seeing here is at least version 2 of this ship. I don't know if you had done other versions of the ship as well, Chris, but I
Not
know
yet.
this one was like a slightly more refined than the first 3D pass that you did.
Correct, correct. I
Um,
basically just moved the back of the wings in a little bit so that it's not as far apart.
mhm.
I don't know what those things are called. You know, the
The
tail
tail fins.
the tail fins. I actually just moved it in closer towards the fuselage and not on
Yeah,
the wing outside. Yeah, that's all.
it looks great now.
Yeah.
And then we have three kind of like basic enemies that we wanted in the game. This guy on the right here is our basic like T drone, the most basic enemy in the game. Pretty low health, does very low damage, but there's a lot of them. So uh, if you come into like a big cluster of them, like you might be in trouble if you don't deal with them quickly.
Hmm, hmm.
This guy is going to be our like laser drone. He's going to have this sort of powerful gun you can see on the kind of hanging on the undercarriage of the drone ship here, which would be um, in game design, it's going to be it'll have like a long lead charge up where it takes a while for it to charge up, but once it fires, it does a lot of damage. So
Mm,
you have to be fast, like take these guys out quickly before they're able to get to a full charge.
right.
And then finally, we have this guy over here, who is kind of like our heavy drone. It's going to have a lot more armor. It's going to be a lot harder to kill. And it's going to fire these like missile projectiles, which will probably be like slower moving target or slower moving projectiles, but they'll do a lot of damage if they hit you. But you'll have an opportunity to shoot them out of the sky beforehand. At least I hope that I can program that in, but that's like my, you know, uh, putting on my game designer hat and leaving solving that problem to future, game engineer Michael.
Mm,
Right now, that's what I think would be really cool for this guy.
yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
Kind of like slow moving, heavy target. And then the big one is our boss. Our
Yeah.
boss drone, who's kind of like this pit boss supervisor, kind of like monitoring the operation of all the other drones. We wanted this thing to be really big, and to kind of like act as because we wanted three like basic enemies and we wanted to do a mini boss. And so that's kind of like where this guy came from. And yeah, so we have all of those. We have all the pieces that I showed you in this sort of like gameplay preview. And with all of that in our last session, we basically said, okay, let's start doing a quote napkin sketch of how we might want this first level to go and kind of break it down into scenes, which is kind of a familiar thing for Chris and I coming from the theme park industry. when we're making theme park attractions or rides, usually those are broken down into scenes as well. You know, you've got
Mhm.
this sort of like scene where everybody loads onto the vehicle, gets into the cars safely, and then then when the vehicle launches into the to actually go on the ride, the very next vignette is like scene one, and then there's some things that happen in there, and you're telling a little bit of a story there, and then the vehicle rounds a corner, goes through a door, and now you're in scene two, and there's something
Mhm.
else happening in there, and so on and so forth. And because we're making a rail shooter, it's very analogous to that kind of sort of story structure and design philosophy. So we're probably just going to apply a lot of that here.
Yeah.
That was homework for us to do. Neither of us were able to work on it because we spent a whole lot of time doing other things.
Mhm.
And so what we were planning to do is maybe do a little bit of that now in real time.
Mm.
Um, so all good with that, Chris? Is there
Yes,
anything
that
that I
no,
missed
that
or
you
no?
yeah, that was very, very comprehensive. Thank you so much, man. That
Sure,
was
no
awesome.
problem. So yeah, I'll go ahead and save that because I just moved that little thing. So what I'll do now is, oh man, the the keyboard shortcuts on Mac versus
PC.
Windows are,
Uh-huh.
yeah, they're like just different enough that I keep tapping the wrong
Sure.
keys to like,
Sure.
I want to, rotate, but I'm pressing the wrong damn thing.
Yep, yep.
Okay, so what I think we can do, oh yeah, see, all of my trees, when I exported from Mac and imported into PC, I lost all my trees. The terrain actually was populated with all these trees. They were causing all kinds of other problems though anyway, so I'm kind of glad that they're gone.
Sure.
Um, because they weren't doing collision and they were constantly complaining about the like lighting or the shading
Right.
effect that was applied to them. And I tried to
Right.
fix it and it just messed things up even more. There was one point where all the trees just turned black.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, and so I don't know. I've kind of given up that it's cool that that Unity's terrain function has that brush or tree brush function, but
Yeah.
it's half baked. It's not quite ready for prime
Oh.
time. Okay, so what I think we can do is why don't we just create a new scene? We'll do an empty one, create, and let me go ahead and save this. Scenes, let's call this, I don't know, how about napkin sketch? Okay, and I'm curious, one of the things I want to try, oh yeah, well, so I downloaded that HDRI, I think.
Oh, yeah. And did it work or
Let
no?
me, well, we're gonna see right now. I want to see
Oh,
if I
perfect.
can install this because I've never, like, I've got some skyboxes in here that we can fall back on. It's not an import package. It's a new asset. Downloads, HDR,
By the way,
import.
Zoom has caught up with Unity.
Oh, cool. So
Yeah.
is it looking okay now?
It looks much better than what it was before.
So can I just drag this into, no, okay. Oh, maybe I needed some additional content in here. Because I need a camera, right? At the main camera. You know what? Rather than make this whole thing from scratch, I'm just going to copy the one that I already have. So I'm going to delete this. Yes. And I'm just going to make it, don't save. And then save this. Scenes. Napkin. I'll just call it napkin. Okay, so now we're here and confirm we're in the napkin scene. So I'm going to get rid of this terrain. Um, and I'm going to get rid of the enemies too. Um, I guess I've got some of the, oh, these enemy waves are here. I got the master timeline, that I'll keep that. the event system. Oh yeah, that was keeping track of the scoreboard. Spawn at runtime player. Okay, so now I think what's going to happen is if I click play, the ship will still be flying, but it's just flying through blank space. Great. And now let's see if I can get that asset again. Download the HDR thing. I added a skybox once, but I can't completely remember how to do it. So I don't know if, oh, I guess it was
Yeah,
already here.
no worries.
Can I just drag this into here? No. But what if I
Maybe you have to
do,
create a material.
maybe, create, you think just like a regular material or like a,
I have no idea. Your
okay,
guess
hang
is as good
on
as
one
mine.
second here, because I have in here, uh, maybe they're under prefabs, environment.
Ooh, look at all those stuff. Whoa, they got.
Yeah,
Oh
there's
wait,
a
hold on.
whole lot of stuff in here.
Wait, is that my asteroid or no?
No, these
I didn't give
are,
you any. Oh wow,
yeah,
nice,
this is all stuff that just came with their thing. Actually,
perfect.
to kind of see like what they've got going, they've got this, yeah, save.
Holy cow! All right, we're done. Thank you guys for watching.
Yeah, there we go.
Uh, we appreciate you joining us, and we've completed our goal. Holy cow!
Can I move with it? How do I? I think this thing is so big that I can't actually fly fast enough to move through the environment. Yeah, anyway, so they have like, a skybox in here. Oh, maybe I could look in here and see skybox, lights, planets, asteroids, FX, debris, lights, ships. Hmm. So that's just a bunch of this stuff. Oh,
Oh,
cool. There's like
cool.
space clouds in there.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's not like loading them in though. Um, Sorry for
It's like
anybody watching at
nebulas.
home. Uh, I'm very much new to all of this.
Yeah, no, take your time. This is cool. I mean, it seems like, well, let me ask you this question. All the assets in here, can we use these assets in our game? Are
Yeah,
they,
absolutely.
oh, so cool. Very, very awesome.
Yeah, I purchased all these, so they're all available to use
Nice,
in game.
nice. Yay.
Um, I also, speaking of assets that we'll need in the game, Humble Bundle recently did a music and sound effects Humble Bundle. So I got like 500 songs,
Oh,
um,
yeah.
and they're good. They're really high quality. They're all kind of there's not a ton of variety there, but I think
Uh-huh.
they're pretty good. I can
Nice,
sample some of those for you
nice.
next time. Uh, well, damn it. How do I? Because kind of, I mean, here in the main camera, there is this thing called Skybox here.
Clear flags,
Oh, I see.
background.
But that's only affecting the camera. But in here, where the heck is that Skybox living? So there has to be some kind of object that is the skybox because it's clearly referring to that. And then you can see in the camera preview down here when I, change this to solid color, then like it's getting rid of the skybox. Um, well, maybe let's not. Well, I don't know. Actually, that's kind of an important component of this exercise we're doing.
Well, I mean, not totally necessary because this is, after all, kind of a napkin sketch just for us to figure out what we want. I mean, having a skybox in there would be nice, but I don't think it's totally necessary. In fact, I mean, we don't even have to, you know, do this in Unity right now, we could probably just talk about it and actually just draw it on 2D paper, and then
Yeah,
just
that's a
try
good
to
point
figure it
too.
out that way.
Okay, well, yeah. Um, well, okay, so one of the things that we can do that maybe would be a little bit beneficial to do it in Unity still is that we can still fly around stuff. So, where is the player? Okay, right down there. And what I'll do is, I guess we could just start grabbing some things here. So there's basic, so in this project, I've added some of the like prototype prefabs.
Nice.
Oh wait, did I not grab everything?
Oh, we have a first-time viewer here, Dr. Pecker. He asked how
Hello,
long.
Dr. Pecker.
He asked how long have you guys been using Unity? We are learning for the first time.
Yeah, I would say
Yeah, go ahead.
I didn't know that Unity was a game engine until maybe like 2 months ago when I started. I think it's been about 2 months for me. Does it show? Well,
And
I
yeah,
am reluctant
yeah.
to put a plane in here.
Right.
Prefabs.
But yeah,
There.
again, welcome, Dr. Pepper. Oh,
Yes, thank you.
I just
Not
got
Dr.
that, Dr.
Pecker.
Pepper. Okay. That's cool. I love your name. You're also my favorite drink. Yeah. But with that said, Michael and I we both are designers, we both are artists, and we both want to more or less in our off time design a video game. And Michael is wanted to learn Unity. He wanted to learn a game
Oops.
engine, so he went ahead and picked
Oh, that's
Unity.
why.
And for me, I am an artist, more so a 2D artist, and I'm actually learning how to use Blender. And so Michael and I are tackling this video game project. He's learning Unity and I'm learning Blender. So whatever I create in Blender, then we'll import it into Unity. And he is he's totally doing an awesome job with the game right now. But right
All right.
for today, we're actually trying to create like kind of like a blank slate of developing various scenes that we can use to basically go through our game. And this is a kind of a learning process for us too. So that's a great question. That yes, we both Michael and I are kind of noobs, using Unity, and we just thought it would be kind of cool just to share with you and everyone else who's interested in video game design, and just to see how it is. We start off with concept, and from concept, you go to 3D, and then from 3D you put it in the game engine, and yeah, it's for we've been doing this for the past 5 weeks now, and I think we made some pretty good progress.
Yeah, well said, Chris. Good summary. Okay, and then I'm gonna lock that, and now I can move this to see the ship fly. Got it. Okay.
Nice.
I guess I could just make a new thing. So I'm just cleaning up some of the timeline stuff left over from previously. And I'm gonna leave the one of the old ship fly through in there just for now. But okay, so I guess what we can start doing is start throwing stuff in here. We can start adding things. In
Nice.
this set from Polygon, well, this looks like it's mostly interior stuff.
That is cool.
But we also have these environmental things.
Yeah,
And I used a
perfect.
lot of this stuff when I was building that
The
first rocket ship game.
the super hard game that pissed
Mm-hmm.
everyone off.
Yep. That's the one. Oh,
Yeah.
vehicles. Oh yeah, vehicles. So we could oh, and here's remember this guy, right? That's where that came from.
Yay. Yeah. That's such a cool
We
looking
don't
ship.
need him in there.
Hey,
Yeah,
Redline
I think he's
Dragon, how
part
are
of
you,
it.
man?
Redline, welcome.
Dr. Pepper, he also said, I've just started using Blender as well. Yeah, high five. Ah, Uh,
Sweet.
made my first donut 2 days ago. Question. So did you watch that guy's I forgot his name. He is super he always does that stupid donut tutorial every time a new Blender version comes out. He always does like a tutorial on the stupid donut. Anyways, do you guys have any finished work to look at, like a public blog or something? No, but with that said, I will share with you our YouTube channel to basically uh, kind of document everything that we've been doing. And the answer is no. The answer is no. We don't have any finished work to look at because we started like 5 weeks ago, and our finished product is more or less going to be a full finished, full-fledged video game that you can play. So I'm going to paste this link right here, and you can most definitely are welcome to take a look at all the various meetings that we had. This is our meeting number 10 right now, and then so you could take a look at from all the way from meeting number 1 where I did like little tiny thumbnail sketches to 3D models and then putting the 3D models into the environments. Blender Guru, yes, yes, absolutely, Blender Guru. He's a amazing guy. He has a whole bunch of he also has his website called Polygon, where you can download textures right from,
Here
and
comes
it's
a new
cool. That's
challenger.
really, really
Dr. Rundis
awesome.
Koolpacker is now
Thank you so much
following.
for following, man. Really, really appreciate it. I hope you come back and stay and check out what Michael and I will be doing, as time goes on. But with that said, we also have a really special announcement later tonight. So yeah, please stick around and check it out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and Red Light Dragon, so good to see you here, man. Hopefully you had fun playing Street Fighter 5. I saw you were streaming Street Fighter 5 for a little bit. So yeah, good to have you here, man. And Dr. Pepper, yes, I am totally with you. I am also more or less starting out again using Blender. It's a great program. It's so awesome. So I'm glad other people are watching it. Blender Guru, I watched him, and for yes, and thank you. Yeah, cool. High five. And again, thank you so much for following. And yes, please feel free to click on the YouTube link and then go to that our Project Rail Shooter YouTube channel and check out the videos to see. Just scroll through really quick just to see the progress of what we done so far for the past 5 weeks. Yeah. And welcome again. So happy to have you here.
Yeah, welcome everybody. And thank you so much for doing such a good job of like explaining all that, because like it's really hard to focus on like, okay, how am I need to move this thing in here.
Yep.
So great to have you interacting with chat and
yeah
getting people caught up on what's going on here. So I guess what I can say now that we're starting to like put some things in here, the idea, the like sort of story idea that I had was, we can imagine that our player is part of some kind of like defense force or something like that. And maybe there is a colony out in space that's kind of like in an asteroid field or something, where they are like mining the, galactic resource from these asteroids. And they're primarily just, workers. They're just engineers and miners. They've got very limited defenses because they're out in the middle of nowhere and they don't really expect to be bothered. And suddenly they're under attack. And so now we are responding to these sort of like distress calls. And maybe even there's like a kind of obscure distress call that is coming, like, hey, we got the bits and pieces of a message that sounds like it might be a distress call, but we're not really sure. The message kind of came in and then cut off. So we're not really sure what's going on. So the initial part of the like scene 1 maybe can be coming like out of hyperspace or whatever and arriving at this sort of like asteroid cluster.
Right.
And then maybe you're just kind of, it's a little bit slow and quiet and you're kind of flying through there, and we can give the player an opportunity to kind of get the hang of the controls through that section. So before I start populating things here, maybe I'll just walk through verbally this, what I'm thinking. So that's the first scene. You kind of like arrive at this asteroid field and you're zooming around and it's like, it's a little quiet, it's too quiet or whatever. Then we start seeing a couple of our T drones, or maybe just one kind of comes out of the asteroid woodwork and starts attacking you. And then there's a couple more after that, and then it becomes pretty obvious, like, oh, okay, actually there is an enemy presence here. And then you start engaging them, you start fighting them. Then from there, we can go to a like an actual dogfight aerial battle where like your fleet is now in, and it's not your entire fleet, it's really just going to be like a small contingent of like maybe this blue ship that we're seeing on the screen here is like your I guess you can kind of imagine like an aircraft carrier, right? Where like the
Yeah, yeah,
aircraft
yeah, yeah.
carrier's got
Uh-huh,
like
uh-huh.
jets and
Yeah. Yep, yep, yep.
helicopters and boats and stuff on it,
Mm-hmm.
and that aircraft carrier kind of takes with it this detachment of units. And so maybe
Mm-hmm.
that's yours.
Yeah.
And then this fight kind of erupts around it. So then scene two is you're kind of like fighting the drones around your home frigate.
Right.
And then once you've kind of defended and kind of like overcome the drones there, then it's like, okay, this is actually the real deal. And now, because we are closer to this situation, we realize, aha, that was a distress signal that we were receiving. The
Mm.
drones have established like a communication disruptor to like try to block the signal.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But now, because we're so close, or maybe because we like blew up their, communications disruption array or something, um, now we can hear like, oh, yep, the little colony, they are calling for help. They are under attack right now. Let's go over there. So then you kind of like zoom through the asteroid field to get to scene three, which is arriving at the colony, which kind of like what I would imagine would be that really awesome kind of like trench thing that you made with like the particle
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
system that did all the texture for us. That would kind of be the sort of like the colony city in the asteroid field where everybody kind of like gathers. That's where their sort of town square is. And then from
Right.
there, they would leave to go to these different parts of the mining operation. And so you go there, you defend the city. There are a bunch more drones there, and maybe at that point we can introduce a couple of the other drones besides just the T drone. Maybe that's where you can start getting to interact with the heavy missile drone
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
the heavy laser drone.
Yeah.
Um, once that defense is done, then from there we would move. Maybe there's like communication that you get from the people who are like, oh, thank you so much for saving us. Like that's we've been calling for help and nobody came. Thank you so much. By the way, uh, this isn't the primary target. They're just attacking us to keep us distracted. We actually have this mining facility, this mining operation. That was their primary target. They're trying to do something over there. They're trying to like steal all of the minerals, or I don't know, whatever. But that's the primary target. So then we go like, okay, got it. We're going to go and deal with that then. Now that the our our main aircraft carrier is safe, the city is safe. Final step, we need to go and stop their attack on the mining operation. So then we fly over there, and then there's some kind of like cool giant mining apparatus or something. Maybe there's like a big asteroid that they have
Mm-hmm.
like erected this huge structure on, and they're like digging into it. Um, and there, the enemy drones are in like full force. Like there's a ton of them. Like this is like much more difficult, a lot more enemies than there were in any of the previous sections. And so you kind of battle your way through there to figure out what's going on and to try to stop them from sabotaging this mining operation. And when you get through a whole bunch of those enemies, that's when the mini boss appears, because now
Mm-hmm.
the mini boss is like pissed, and maybe even the mini boss is part of the like, because of that shape, maybe she's like actually like drilling or excavating minerals or something, and then she gets
Mm-hmm.
pissed because now you're here disrupting her. So then you have this like sort of final battle with the mini boss, and then once she's defeated, then everybody's cheering and celebrating. There's fireworks, and we're like, okay,
Right.
our work here is done. Like
Right.
let's get out of here. So I guess that's scene one, arrival at the asteroid field. Scene two, defend the frigate from attack. Scene three, defend the city from attack. And then scene four, um, uh,
The mini boss, right?
yeah, like stop the attack on the mining operation. So I guess like four scenes, and maybe we could do five scenes. Maybe the mining operation is broken up into two pieces. The first part is just stopping the
Uh-huh.
drones and the mining operation, and then the final
Is
scene
the final
is
boss.
exactly.
Right, right,
So
right.
I don't know. What do you think? Does that sound like a start?
Yeah, that sounds like a great starting point. Yeah,
Cool.
totally. Yeah, and I was thinking like, remember how you showed me the YouTube video where when we want to teach the players how to play, maybe in the first scene, that's the scene where we teach the person how to like basically move the plane and how to shoot obstacles. Maybe that's
Mm-hmm.
like maybe we can have like a scene. I don't know if it's scene one or scene two where we shoot asteroids to dodge asteroids. Maybe we arrive in the asteroids and there's like a whole bunch of asteroids, coming at our carrier ship, and in order for the carrier ship not to drain its the outer shield and energy, we they have to launch little fighters to blow the asteroids up, and that's what our first mission is to like destroy all the asteroids. And then after we destroy all the asteroids, then like the T ship comes and like, what the hell is that?
Hell
What the
yeah.
world? And then we get chased. There's like a little dogfight maybe. But yeah, chat. What do you guys think? Is there any good? How does that sound? Do you guys have any ideas? Let us know. Let us know.
Yeah, I think that's great because that's one of the other things that we want to do with this sort of like first level prototype is start experimenting with a lot of the things that we've been talking about starting slow, teaching the player how to play without like having this long tutorial,
Right.
um, incorporate into the game and into the story. And I think that makes a lot of sense to start the player with basically enemies that won't fight back, right? Like
Right.
asteroids that can still damage you. Like you can't just sit back and not play the game. Like you
Right.
actually will get hit. Um, but they're nowhere near as threatening as like a drone that's actually going to fly around and target you and shoot you.
Right. 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 Dr. Pepper says you could use the first scene to Star Wars Revenge of the Sith as a reference. The game sounds
Yeah.
beast. Yeah, 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 yeah. Totally, Dr. Pepper. Like Michael and I are one of our favorite space battle scenes is from the Revenge of the Sith, like where Obi-Wan and Anakin were just kind of like tracking the both of them flying, right? And all of a sudden they make that little dive down, and then the camera pans down with it, and then we see like a whole bunch of all this like battle shit going on around them. Like that's so cool. That scene is like one of my favorite scenes ever, like space battle wise. But yeah,
Hell yeah.
great comment. Thank you so much, Dr. Pepper. Again, awesome name. I love Dr. Pepper. Ah, Dr. Pepper.
Um, okay. Well, so because I'm not a Unity like professional, I'm not
Hmm.
very fast with it yet.
Hmm.
I don't think it's going to be an effective use of time for me to like try to populate this
Sure,
stuff
sure,
here.
sure, sure.
So it
Do you want
might
me
be
to
more,
do it in Blender? Do you want to do it in Blender?
yeah, sure. Yeah,
Okay.
why don't we switch?
We
So I'll stop
can,
sharing.
yeah, we can. I can pull up Blender, and this
Or
will
we could
give.
even do like kind of like what you were saying before. We might maybe just do a hand sketch if we want.
Yeah, yeah, that's also very true. Well, actually, now that we
So I
have
think we
Dr.
kind of just
Pepper
need a
here,
diagram.
I just want to show Dr. Pepper really quick some of the things we created so far. I don't know if he
Hell
was actually
yeah.
here. So this was kind of like a launch tube, theoretical launch tube, right? You just and then we're just flying through space and trying to destroy these guys. Just flying through, and then maybe create fly through a tube like a little trench right here. Whoa, something like that. And then here's another trench. Oh, something like that. And then we created a scene, kind of like a city scene, where we can actually, because currently this nothing is textured right now. Everything is still very flat, very um, boring looking. But the stuff is in there. So this more or less proves to me and Michael that oh, okay, we can actually create environments in space, which it's it's nice. It's not boring. because that was one of my fears is that creating a scene in space may be boring versus having a scene in on Earth, where there is things to fly through and whatnot. But yeah, this is exactly what kind of a space battle rail shooter game that Michael and I are trying to use. And again, this is in Blender, so Dr. Pepper, if you ever want to create a rail shooter in Blender, you are definitely able to, because if I can do it, you definitely can do it. All right. Michael, you said that it might be a good idea just to create this in maybe just Photoshop.
Yeah, because I think at least for tonight, maybe our what we can consider done or our end goal is just having on paper a
Yeah,
diagram that says,
right.
okay, scene one is this, scene two is this, scene three and four and five are this. And then what we can do is for our actual homework next time, um, we can come up with some neat ideas and maybe even actually map out. I can map out in Unity, you can map out in Blender. Like, ooh, here's a cool thing that I thought we could do for scene one. Um, I can try, and I can also try to work a little bit on some of the actual game functionality. So like the thing that you described with the asteroids in scene one, like I can actually try to create a little vignette where I make maybe a minute worth of rail that's flying through an asteroid field, and the asteroids are actually animated and moving around, and I'll apply some scripting to them so that way when you shoot them, they'll blow up.
Right,
Um, just so we can start getting a feel for like, oh yeah, okay, that's kind of what that scene's going to be.
right.
Um, and actually, and n maybe that helps us with our like week to week homework. Maybe we can just start with like one scene at a time. Um,
Yeah,
so then instead of like coming like having homework be like, all right, next week have the whole thing laid out, we could say like, okay, well, let's just tinker with scene one
hmm
because we already know where we're going overall. But let's just start there, get that done, and then the next homework assignment, once we're like, okay, yeah, we've got a nice little draft of something going on there, like let's do part two now,
right.
or scene two.
Um, is this how you spell asteroid? Asteroid. I'm. Is that
I
right?
think there's an E after the T, asteroid.
Asteroid. I am so
Pretty sure.
I'm super super uh
I'll double check.
my spelling is crap. So just in advance, I apologize for my spelling if I misspelled anything. Dr.
Yep, that's
Pepper
correct.
says this is actually really cool. You guys seem like a good duo. Yeah, thank you so much, Dr. Pepper.
Thanks, doctor.
Just a quick of history. Michael and I have worked together in the theme park industry for how many years? I don't remember anymore. But we've known each other for 10 years, and we worked together for at least over 2 years now, both in Disney and Universal. And Michael's a great guy. He's totally reliable, and I love working with him. Really great personality. I can count on him on everything. And we make a good team. Wah!
And Chris is all right most of
Yeah,
the time.
I'm fine. Sometimes I
Kidding.
show up,
Chris is amazing.
sometimes I show up, sometimes I don't show up. He's like, yeah, All right.
Whenever the
Okay,
mood
cool.
strikes him.
Yep, exactly. All right. So this one is mini boss, right?
Hmm.
I'm just spitting stuff out right now.
Nope, this is perfect.
Mini boss. Um, 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 kind of a tutorial scene.
Hmm.
And oh, the hell?
Whoa. Cool, you
Oh,
got a grid.
that was weird. I never done that before.
Oh yeah, we
Okay.
should give each scene a name, huh? Yeah, like
Yeah.
asteroid field tutorial.
Oh, sure. Boom. And
Hmm.
in this scene, we'll have asteroids. I guess this is the assets that we want to see in this space.
Mm-hmm, hmm.
All right.
Probably the the frigate, the the carrier, I guess.
Carrier.
Let's call it the carrier, yeah, because that makes sense to me. Like it's carrying all the other little ships.
Yeah. Is that how you spell carrier?
Yep, perfect.
All right. Good. The
Asteroids carrier. At the very end of this scene, there will be one T drone or like a couple of them. So I guess we could do, yeah, you could add T drone there. I don't think we need to write down the player's ship because obviously it's going to be in every single scene.
How do you spell enemy? I'm getting so E N.
Stage pressure.
I'm stage pressure.
Yep. EMY.
ENEMY. There you go. Jeez.
Nope. E before the M, and then no E before the Y.
This is so embarrassing.
Nailed it.
Uh,
Let's call that there for those assets for scene one for now. Maybe we add some additional things. The only other thing I can think of would be like maybe some teammate ships. Might make sense.
Allied ships.
There you go. That's my, yeah. Shorter, better. It's great.
Okay.
All right. Oh, maybe we can also do, so you've got like scene number, you've got the name of the scene, we've got assets. Maybe we could also do like focus, these sort of like gameplay focus of this part. And so for this, I would say like basic movement and shooting.
Basic movement and slash shooting. Cool.
Great. Okay, should we move on to scene two?
Sure.
So scene two is the defend the carrier scene.
Boom. Look at that. Oh, sorry. Defending the carrier.
Okay, and then the focus for that one is going to be on pretty much combat with the enemy. And there's a little less game oriented, but like experience wise, we could this is going to be a little bit closer to our Revenge of the Sith moment where you're going to be like flying around your carrier and fighting all these things. So I don't know, we could do ROTS feel or set piece, ROTS set piece, Revenge of the Sith set piece.
Oh, revenge. Wait, what'd you say? OTS?
Yeah, Revenge, ROTS, yes. Rots.
RO.
Revenge of the Sith.
There you go.
Set piece.
Oh, set piece.
Perfect. And then the assets here, probably still going to be asteroid. Basically, it's all the same things, really.
Yeah.
I wonder if we could also include. No, I'm putting on my producer cap and saying limit scope. Because what I was going to suggest is like, what if there were like big like ships that weren't as big as the carrier but were bigger than your fighter ship, so you had like a half a dozen of those around just to kind of give some more not really balance but like variety in ship sizes and things to fly through, but maybe we'll add that later.
Well, that's the thing. Like, how are we supposed to have the Revenge of the Sith set piece scene without other ships? Because right now, essentially, we have the bad guy. Like we introduced the T-pose enemy, and then we have our carrier, and then we have our ship, and then that's about it. And asteroids, right? I mean, just look at this right here.
Yeah.
We don't have
If we,
much.
if we make our carrier big enough, we can do some things that are close-ish to that. But yeah, I think if we really want to go for it, we should probably include more ships on our team and more ships on their team. But for the sake of, continuing to limit scope and not let this get too out of hand, let's save. It's really exciting. Like I would rather do that, but let's save that for once we've completed the level and
Mhm.
decide like, okay, actually, yep, this was a really great first level. We're going to do a version 2, and that one's going to have the as much of the Revenge of the Sith set
Mhm.
piece that we can possibly get in there. But
Right.
right now, let's not do that.
Sure. So
Oh
so in
man, being
this
a
in the
producer is
it
not
sucks,
fun.
right?
It's like uh the
So
buzzkill
we're
job.
we're going to be flying around just asteroids, our carriers, a few allied ships. Well, then again, the allied ships, does that mean we're gonna have to make more ships that like more allied, more
Well,
hero ships?
I was originally thinking that they would just be like recolored hero ships. We
Oh,
use the same model as our hero ship, just a different,
right,
maybe a
right.
different color to tell them
Well,
apart.
well, how about, I mean, the Unity package that you got, right? There's like a whole
Hmm.
bunch of assets in there that we
Yeah. Maybe I'll
probably
just
can
throw a
use
bunch of
too,
those
right?
things in there. Hell yeah.
Yeah, right? Dude,
So yeah, so we'll
my
just include in ally ships,
yeah.
little fighters and also like medium class ships. Yeah, we'll just use the Unity stuff to. That's a great, yeah. I have all these assets and didn't even think to like use them.
Yeah, yeah, I think that would be great. That's so weird. When I press commands on my Photoshop, it
Hmm.
it triggers um zoom.
Oh,
Yeah, it's
like
like
Zoom shortcuts.
yeah, it's so weird. Anyways, all right. Moving on. Scene 3. Scene 3
Scene
was
three,
was
defending the colony.
come on, stop it, zoom. Jeez. Defending the colony or stopping the
Hmm.
colony? Defending the colony.
Well, stopping the attack on the colony. You could just say defending. It's fine. There's a lot of
So,
defending going on here.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
This is a defense mission after all.
Yep.
So here, focus will be uh, combat with new enemy types. And then I guess feel wise, we could, like trench run kind of set piece, maybe. I feel like I want to spend some time exploring a little bit with what we can do.
Hmm.
It doesn't
Hmm.
have to just be flying through the trench, but there might be some other cool things we could do. Like that version that you did where you had like it was the sandwich thing, right? With the
Hmm.
things on the
Hmm.
top and the things on the bottom. Might be
Yeah.
cool to be like flying through this way and then do an inversion and then be
Oh,
flying along the
that's
top thing. Yeah, something
yeah.
like that might be kind of neat.
Basically recycle, right? I create one version of one plane
Mm,
and then
hmm.
I'll just flip it and then we could fly upside down, right?
Yeah,
I could flip it and then turn it,
exactly.
right?
Yeah, if you flipped it, turned it, and mirrored it, which were all or should all be just like, click, click, click
Yeah,
in
yeah, yeah,
Blender, it would and if we choose the flight path in a certain way, players wouldn't even know that it was the same asset.
right. You guys didn't hear anything. You guys did not hear anything.
No cutting
These are not
corners here.
these are not the droids you're looking for. Ah.
Okay, so assets, no asteroids here. I mean, maybe in the like distant background, but they're not going to be like, flying through the colony or anything like that.
Um, no, that's true. That's true. But they'll be probably in the background. But let's not worry about that. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. For the things that we're going to put in the assets list here will be like the things that are the focal point of the
Sure,
scene.
sure.
So the colony is the big one, right? No carrier here. Uh, definitely. So like all the drones, like enemy T, L, and B. Colony building architecture.
Come on, stupid Zoom. No. Are we introducing all those in this scene?
Yep. We'll
Okay,
have every single enemy here.
right.
At least that's the plan for now. We can always adjust that later if we feel like, that's a little overwhelming. Maybe
Yeah,
we save one of them for scene 4.
yeah.
But for now, yeah, the plan would be all of them. I don't know about ally ships. I guess a little bit. Yeah, you have a couple of them in there
Yeah,
flying
we could
around,
we
maybe getting killed.
yes, I was thinking exactly that. What? What? Like in Star
I
Wars,
can't
whenever
shake them.
I can't shake him.
Okay, that's looking good. Scene 4.
Yes.
All right, scene 4 is just so we don't keep saying defending. Well, why don't we call this like a assault on the mm, mine, I guess, mining operation.
Or
Mining thing.
stopping the mining op.
Uh,
Assault on mining op. That's fine. We'll figure that out later.
yeah. Um, okay, so the focus here is going to be for this one, I would say maybe like advanced movement in combat, because in addition to like now at this point you've got all 3 types of enemies that you're going to be fighting with. It might also be fun to put the player into an environment that's a little bit like you remember when we looked at the reference video of that Star Wars arcade game,
Mhm.
when they start flying into the second Death Star, and they go into the interior of it, and you have to
Mhm.
like kind of shoot things to blow them up before you crash into them and dodge around obstacles
Sure.
and stuff. It might be fun for this part of the level for the player to have to do a little bit of that, where you're like
Right.
actually going in, flying through all the like giant cranes and metal armatures that are maybe
Mhm.
coming down and trying to hit you, and you got to like dodge and weave a
Mhm.
lot
Mhm.
more. Like the expectation is that at the very beginning in the asteroid field, it's just basic stuff. You're just kind of learning how to move and kind of dodge very easy targets that are not flying at you. In scene 2, now you need to learn how to fight. Scene 3, you need to learn how to fight all 3 types of enemies. Scene
Right.
4, you need to learn how to fight and dodge stuff in the environment. And then
Right.
scene 5, bring all those things together and use what you've learned to defeat the
Mhm.
boss.
Mhm.
Okay, so yes, advanced movement combat, and then the focus, I guess, is on we'll just continue with the Star Wars references. Death Star 2 uh interior, I guess.
Death Star. Yeah.
I think
Well,
it's just
it's
the
a Death
second one, right?
Star. It's just a Death Star trench run, right?
Yeah, it's just a variant of that.
Yeah.
And then the assets here.
But
So, like mining operation buildings, mining structure.
mining structures that we can fly through.
Yeah, because and I guess asteroids too, because now we're going to be like back into an asteroid field. But I would kind of imagine there would be either a series of bigger asteroids or maybe one really big asteroid, um, where they've kind of set up shop to drill out the resources from these things.
and
Yeah,
asteroids, right?
exactly. That's perfect. Hmm.
Asteroids, and obviously a whole bunch of,
Yep, all three enemies.
uh, and then
And I
we can.
think maybe at this point, yeah, yeah, we could do some allied ships here. But one thing that I think might be really cool is if you have a bunch of allies at the beginning, and then as you progress through the level, they're getting picked off as you go. So by the time you get to the end of scene 4, you're like on your own. It's
Yeah.
like we're counting on you. Like you gotta make this happen. Everybody else is down
Yep.
or being attacked.
Yep.
Yep. And then in scene 5. Well, definitely the mini boss. Maybe some of the other drones. Yeah, definitely some of the other drones. That could sort of like come in to try and defend her at certain, points where she's like vulnerable. No allies,
Wait, I'm
and
sorry. I'm sorry. Sorry, Michael. You say drones, as in maybe there's
like
another enemy type?
no, yeah. I use enemy drone bots
Oh, I see. I see.
interchangeably. Sorry.
Got it. Yeah. Yep. Yep.
So yeah, all of the enemies there. And I'm imagining this is, basically taking place in this same very similar environment to the mining operation. So
Right.
a lot
Whoops.
a lot of those same assets can probably just be carried over.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe like a different variation of these mining equipment. I mean,
Hmm.
yeah, yeah, yeah. We could figure that out. What's the focus on this
Um,
one?
okay,
Or
focus for this one.
what's the title for this one?
Let's do. How about showdown with mini boss, I guess.
The showdown, one word or two word?
Uh, One word, I think. How
One
about
word.
showdown with pit boss? I don't know why, but I really like calling our mini boss the pit boss
The
because
pit
it's kind
boss.
of like, it got a little bit of a Vegas flair there. It's also the guy
Yeah.
who's like in charge of the
Yep.
floor, right?
Yep. Yep. That's pretty cool.
All right, the focus is um movement and combat uh test, I guess, because you're basically like testing the player to prove that they have like mastered the movement and combat that we've introduced in
Hmm.
the
Hmm.
level. And then the feel. I don't know. I think that it would be cool to evoke the sort of like battle or interaction with GLaDOS from the Portal games. Might be
Oh,
kind of fun.
I didn't see that yet. How do you spell it?
Um,
GLaDOS? G-L-A.
yep, glad like happy. So GLAD and then OS at the end.
Uh-huh.
Um, L before the A. I will look up a YouTube video for you and send you a reference of um, the final battle with that character. She's really cool. She's like the antagonist in the Portal games,
Nice.
um, and she's really awesome.
Very cool.
Um, I think that's gonna do it. I
Nice.
think that's our outline for level MVP level 1.
Dr. Pepper says GLaDOS, my favorite games. Nice.
Yeah,
Oh, we got gamers in here. That's freaking awesome, man.
hell yeah.
All right, so what I'm going to do really quick, this might not make any sense whatsoever, but I will do a really, 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 really quick. Hold on, let me see. Find the right brush. Put us back
Ooh,
here.
do some sketching.
Yeah, just a really
Hell
quick
yeah.
sketch. So scene one, we have our mothership. We have a whole bunch of asteroids, and then asteroids. Here's our ship. Here's our big mothership, right? Our carrier
Mm-hmm.
ship. Like tiny windows, tiny windows, tiny windows. And then we have little dots and whatnot. And then there's an enemy T ship. Something like that, just floating. And then we have allied ships, right? That's what we said.
Mm-hmm.
It shoots out like from the side, like little allied ships.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Woo!" All right, just it just helps me to get a nice visual,
Totally. No, yeah, it
real
helps me
quick
too. Like this is
visual.
great. Picture's worth 1,000 words.
Yeah, so we got like little asteroids coming at us. All right, cool. So that's scene one. Okay, and then let's do scene two. Two, combat with enemy. All right, let's maybe do another view. Here's a bunch of stars. Here's some asteroids, right? And then we have the T fighter uh, fighting with our one of our main ships. Yeah,
Oh yeah.
yeah.
The iconic red eye.
Um, anything else? Anything else? Enemy ship, T ally ship, asteroids. Yep, something like
I
that.
think you got it.
Yeah. All right. Okay. And then do another one. Dr. Pepper says, "The mothership! The mothership!"
The mothership.
Oh, where's my scene
The mother of
three?
all ships.
Colony architecture. So this is more or less kind of like the trench. Um, and then we said that we were gonna do like upside down as well. So it's like, flying through the trench. There's a whole bunch of different elements. Uh, Not really sure what the hell this is going, but
You know what would be cool? Well, nah, this is probably fine. What I was gonna say is, we could have the like colony thing in sort of like a halo ring, like it's on
oh yeah,
the colony pieces are on the inside of a ring, and then the ring is spinning, which then creates gravity to push outward. Um, or I guess also like the Citadel in Mass Effect is a little bit like that too, where you've kind of got a portion of it is uh cylindrical, so you can like be standing on the floor in one spot, look straight up, and you're looking across space to see the other to see the to be looking down on the the other side.
yeah. Sorry, I'm just like drawing
No,
something
that's
really
great.
quickly.
Wow, you got that put together fast.
Uh,
Oh, Gentleman Heavy is here.
Hey, gentlemen, heavy. I've seen five begin at the edge of a large pit. Michael, can you read that
Sure.
for me, please?
Have scene 5 begin at the edge of a large pit, like the pit in Star Wars where Kenobi fights Grievous on the planet Utapau, I think
Oh, Utapau.
is how you
Yeah.
say it,
Yep.
and fly down to engage the mini boss. Love it.
Nice.
Or have stage 4 be the lead up to the pit and spawn in about halfway down in scene 5. Yeah, those are great suggestions. And actually, if we do that, we can continue to capture that really cool moment that you liked, Chris, in the sort of like tutorial level that I was making, where the you as the player are flying up towards the mountain and you see the pit boss kind of like start to
Oh yeah.
like horns
Yeah.
coming up out of the top. We could do that with this like pit area. Use that as sort of like a crater. Just get the player into a position where they're kind of below the crest. So that
Hmm.
way, as you start flying up and you get to see down into the pit, that's when you can see like, oh man, there's this giant beast of a drone in there. Like, oh shit, what is this?
Right, right.
Dr. Pecker says that reminds me of the last scene of Interstellar, seeing the other side of Earth, but like upside down. Yeah, exactly.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
like Interstellar and the Doctor Strange movies and Inception too. I guess
Hmm,
Christopher
hmm,
Nolan
hmm.
really likes to do those
Yeah.
sorts of things where you're like standing in one place and then looking and seeing like a vertical version of something else. These little thumbnail sketches are great, Chris. Good job.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Thanks. I'll definitely. I'm like trying to hurry up and do it so that we can actually move on.
Yeah,
But
no problem. Keep going.
yeah. Assault on mining op combat the death interior trench run. So it's like you said we're like flying through stuff and trying not to get hit, right? Uh,
Yeah,
oh,
you
good.
can imagine like a combination of the asteroid belt scene in Empire Strikes Back and the assault on the Death Star in Return of the Jedi, where we're going to start flying through the asteroids and kind of like flying through big asteroids, and then start flying through more mining equipment and mining trains and things, eventually getting to a point where we are flying through the innards of some, pretty serious installation. And then when we
Yeah.
get sped out at the end of that, that's when we get into scene five, and start running into and have our big showdown with the pit bus.
I'm trying to draw like a 1 point perspective, like we're going through and
Yeah,
um through like a little trench thing. Um,
absolutely. Oh yeah, and so the that Humble Bundle that I got with the music, it also includes sound effects, not a ton, um, but they had some like light gun sounds in there that I'm hoping there will be something in there that I can put into the game to give the uh, the lasers that you're shooting some oomph,
yeah.
so that way it's not just totally muted. Dr. Pecker says, what if you made it where scene four is destroying the enemy's trench, power cells, and machinery for their mining? Yeah, that's actually a cool idea. Yeah, okay. Because I had originally been thinking like, oh, this is, the colony's mining operation, and this is like all their equipment there. But it would be really neat if there was like enemy equipment that was attached to it or that was like dismantling the colony's mining operation. So in addition to shooting all the enemies, you'd also have to like, you know, blow up the the sort of sabotage equipment that the drones have been installing. That's actually a good idea.
So for example, let's say there's like this mining bot that's like mining for the minerals, oil or something, whatever it
Hmm.
is. Oh crap, we totally forgot about the green
The
gas,
fuel.
the fuel. We totally forgot about that. Oh man, that's
Well,
funny.
maybe it can make a comeback now.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the thing that they're, mining out of there. It's like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Vespine gas or something.
And then we have to like fly in.
Blast that little sucker.
Go.
Um, Super cool idea. I'm putting my producer hat on again and saying maybe that might need to get kicked down the road and when
Sure.
we do, because it is another asset we're going to have to create
Right.
and build in. But it is neat, and I think it would really round out scene four, especially from like a game design perspective, because you've already kind of by scene the end of scene three, you've already kind of faced all the enemies, and now you're just kind of doing more of that with
Yeah.
um, a little bit more dodging. So it would be cool if you also, in addition to that, had another objective of like, shooting these things, like blow these things up because they are harvesting, they're stealing our shit.
Yeah. All
Gentleman
right.
Heavy, uh, looks like having the power fuel line or fuel lines being siphoned off by a parasitic drone. Exactly.
Mm.
Yeah, it's a cool idea.
Yeah, that's great. All right.
Good suggestions, guys.
Yeah, thank you so much for your inputs. That's great. Let me go ahead and get rid of that. All right, showdown with Pit Boss. We got the we got the big mofo. The big mofo.
Oh yeah.
You guys know what he looks like. I'm just drawing him really, really quickly. Now we're just flying. Pew 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 pew. And then we got T drones. We got the missile drones. We got the laser drones. You're seeing a professional at work here. If I could do this, you guys could do this too, because this is all freaking chicken scratch and shit. It's all just to get the visual idea down so that, we can move forward. Like I said, something is always better than nothing. And,
Yep.
if it's just blobs, as long as it communicates an idea or something, it totally will help. All right.
Yeah, you gotta have something down because you
Yeah.
can't edit and change and make better a blank page. Like you have to put something down to begin with and then start going from there.
Right. Right.
Well, fantastic. I'm actually kind of glad we weren't able to do homework offline and were able to do this because I think this was a really good exercise.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. I promise you guys that our game is gonna look better than my stupid thumbnail sketches.
It's pretty good looking thumbnail sketches. I mean, I know plenty of people who would look at this and go like, "Oh man, I can't even draw stick figures."
But with that
Um,
said, though, as long as you could do that, you could if you can do this, you could as long as you could get the idea down, you're good to go.
yeah, I mean, if you can hold a pen or pencil and write your name, you have the dexterity needed to learn how to draw. It's just you got to put in the time to put in the practice.
Yeah.
Dr. Pecker says, for the GLaDOS boss, I think you were talking about earlier, are you going to have it attacked? Maybe I think it's he meant attached to wires and things where you have to cut off their power sources, or will they be roaming around rather than stuck in one place? That's really interesting. Yeah, that's actually kind of a cool idea. Like maybe she is like jacked into the like mother lode of the resources, and so she's like getting all this energy from them. Maybe there's like tubes or something that are attached to the three arms that she's got, and then you have to like blow those up first, and then she's detached from it, and now she's pissed because she's like, I was feeding. And now you've got to fight her. Yeah, that could be cool.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Nice. Yeah, thanks. Thank you, Dr. Pepper. This is great. Nice. Very cool.
Rock and roll, man.
All right. Um, I guess my question is, what's the next step after this then?
So next step after this, I think either me or both of us can start working on in 3D laying out a version of the asteroid field, scene one.
Right.
Or if you're excited about doing, exploring some of the other ones, like feel free. But I think for me, that's where I would like to start.
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
And what I'll probably do is just in Unity, like create a little bit of Rail, create some asteroids. Try to put in some of the set piece moments that I think might be cool, like arriving at the asteroid field and then flying past the carrier and then dodging a couple of asteroids and stuff,
Right.
and then encountering the the T drone at the end.
Right.
Um,
While you're saying that, I
mhm.
absolutely agree. I think there's a way for us to tackle. I'm looking at the board. I'm so glad we're doing this visually because based on scene one and scene two, it seems like scene one and scene two are very much related in that it's using asteroids, it has a carrier, it has enemy T ship and
Mm-hmm.
ally ship. Um, do you think it's a good idea for you to concentrate on scene one and two in Unity? And I would concentrate on scene three and what the hell is this? Three and four.
Sure. Start working on
In
the colony and the
yeah,
mining
in
stuff.
Blender.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
totally.
you do the scene one and two, and I can do scene three and four, because three and four is more architecture stuff, right?
Hmm.
And yeah, I can start building things so that we can
Oh
actually
yeah.
see it. Because in scene one and two, there's nothing much I can do. I mean, I could design the carrier ship, but
Hmm.
I with what all the pieces that you have in Unity, you could like form a carrier ship. I mean, you kind of did already before
Yeah,
we did this, right? Um,
totally.
yeah, I mean that doesn't have to be the final look. It could
Sure.
inspire the final look, but it's essentially just as a placeholder for now.
Yeah, I think for the purposes of, getting to this MVP level one, like I think that's totally fine. Yeah,
Yeah,
you're spot on. I think
cool.
that is a much better division of labor for the two of
Y-
us.
Yeah, yeah. That's cool. That's cool. And then from there on, next week we could show each other and to you guys what we come up with for from Michael scene one and two, and from me scene three, and maybe at the start of scene four. Just kind of create the environment as to how it might look like.
Hmm.
And then scene five we'll figure that out together after we're done with all of the scenes one through four. Um,
Totally.
yeah, but I mean, again, that's the plan. I want to say no rush. I don't want to put too
Hmm.
much pressure on us. I don't I don't want to expect us to like have it all done by it's like, wow, we're done.
Oh,
But
no, no, no,
just
no. This is gonna
yeah,
take a
just
while.
yeah, just to kind of have us start and get things going. So I think that's a great plan, Michael.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Then yeah, then that's what I'll do. I'll work on getting a sort of an actual like working prototype of at least scene one. Maybe, well, by next time I might not even have scene one done. I might have just the beginnings of that.
Yeah, sure,
So
sure.
we'll just start there.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah,
then I'm
yeah.
good, I'll continue with the the 3D Unity course as well.
Right,
I'm
right.
still working my way through that.
Yeah. And I think as long as we just make progressions through each week, you know, just to show the progress of for me, three and four, and then for you, however much you get done, with scenes one and two, I think
Sure.
that's good. And I would say, if- I would say don't worry too much about like animating stuff, as long as you like put stuff in there, then we'll
Mm-hmm,
just be able
hmm.
to be like, oh, okay, yeah, it'll be animating more or less
Sure.
after for the finished
Yep.
product. But as long as you see the thing in there, then we'll
Hmm.
be like, oh, okay, that we could visualize it. So yeah,
Yeah.
I know the animating is in Unity, you got that down, but if that's like taking too much of your time, just you don't worry about that. Just have all the stuff in there. Same for me too. I mean, I'll just
Sure.
have elements in there and we'll talk through it and try to visualize it conceptually.
Yeah. Good notes, man.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, same to you, dude. Same to you. And thank you guys again so much for your guys' feedback. It's so good to know that like Gentleman Heavy and Dr. Pepper, they got they got great ideas, and they're definitely helping us out with our game. Um yeah. And
Absolutely.
if it's okay with you, Michael, I would love to, have them in the thank you portion of the video game, where the
Of
credits
course.
are. So yeah, I'm hoping that, if you guys are okay with it, Gentleman Heavy and Dr. Pepper, um, and Captain Blue Blue if he's there. I know he's probably sleeping. To have your guys' names and just say thank you for contributing and you know uh, watching with us and being gracious enough to deal with our technical difficulty.
Which seems to be largely fixed thanks to you. Like
Yeah.
the,
Well,
the stream is still running. It hasn't
yeah.
dropped.
The
It's looking good.
yes. So yes, we fixed the technical side of it. This week was the human error side of it. It was me this time that fracked things up because I forgot to turn on the audio settings. I should have a pre-check list of things to check before pressing the stream button.
Mm,
Just
hmm.
I should have done that. But anyways, okay, cool. That's very awesome. I am going to save these things right here. And Michael, do you want while I'm saving, do you want to just tell them what we are planning to do with the next thing with our new channel?
Sure. Yes, and can you save this all the notes that you
Yeah,
need
yeah,
to
that
the
that's
shared
what I'm
drive so
doing.
we can okay.
Yep, I'm
Oh,
doing that right now.
um, Dr. Pecker says that would be so cool. You guys are amazing. You don't have to do that. It's an honor just watching the process. Well, thanks, Dr. Pecker. But we want to give credit where credit is due, so
So
be on the lookout for
denied.
your name in the credits.
Yeah, you shall be credited.
But yeah, so that's going to basically wrap today's design session. Now that we've gone through our work session, we both have our homework assignments. Um, that completes the regularly scheduled design session.
Yay.
Um, and with that said, we have a big announcement this week. It's something that we've been working on for a while and have been trying to get it to a state where we can make it official and start working on it. And that is currently you're watching us on Chris's channel, Lee Design Studio. Chris has been gracious enough since he has much more experience with Twitch and with streaming than I do. He's been hosting our design sessions here, but we felt that it would make more sense for us to host on like a joint channel, like a shared channel. Um, and when we started talking about that, we started getting really excited about like, well, man, it could actually be a lot more than just this rail shooter project that we're working on. There's so many more things that we could do. Um, and then we really got excited about the idea and started like what it could be started growing. And we decided, okay, if we're going to do this, we need to come up with like a name, a sort of vision for what this thing is going to be. And if we're going to do it, like, let's do it right. And so we
Mhm.
needed to acquire a domain name. We needed to create a logo, and the overall sort of like philosophy of what the thing was going to be. We needed to figure all that out. And I'm proud to say we finally got all of our ducks in a row. Chris did a great job getting the domain name. Like, and this was after us having spent a couple weeks, I think, looking at huge brainstorm charts of all these different words and
Mhm.
names and
Mhm.
trying to put them together and come up with something. Chris was able to find something that was just perfect and shockingly available. So we snatched up the domain, though there was a bit of a horror story with that
Yeah,
too.
but it's fine. That's fine.
Yeah. So we got that, and then we have spent the last couple weeks working on a logo, which also is difficult. um, but we've got it. And really, without further ado, if you want to show the logo, Chris, we can announce the new channel.
And thank you so much. Anime Jesus just been lurking a while. All stream game is still hype. Yeah, and he sent some biddies. Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much for
Woo!
the support, AJ. I'm gonna start calling you AJ from now on. Yeah,
Yeah,
Anime
that's great.
Jesus. Oh, what? Oh, hold on. Crap. Let me share screen and let me go here. And so we would love to introduce to you guys the Creative Tavern. So for next,
Woo!
yay! Oh, hold on. Am I doing this right? Hold on. Is crap. Is the sound setting thing is not working? Sorry,
Uh,
I have this soundboard where it actually
uh-huh.
cheers and applauses. So let me see if this is working right now. Do you hear that? Do you guys hear that? Yeah, we started. Michael, you probably don't hear it, but it's basically uh like
Oh yeah,
cheering us.
the applause. Yeah.
Yay! Yeah, the
Cool.
applause. Yeah. Let me know if you
Yeah.
guys hear that.
Oh yeah.
Yay. Um. So
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 tell us a little
this
bit about this, Chris. What is
y-
the Creative Tavern?
so the Creative Tavern is a place where people can come into the channel and share with everyone what they are doing. For me, I kind of want a place to share what I've been doing, and obviously I have a channel for that. But I always love seeing what other people are doing. I always love seeing other people's sketches, talking about ideas, talking about their projects, the things that they are able to talk about. Um, just to seeing their journey, if what their struggles were, and if I could relate to their struggles at all. So in my mind, the Creative Tavern is a place where you can go to and you could share your stuff. And if you want to share, I don't know, like a story, here's the thing: the Creative Tavern is not about just game design. It could be about art. It could be about storytelling. It could be about woodworking. It could be about anything that is creative, and that's the hence why we wanted the word creative in there. I mean, Michael and I were trying to figure out like, oh, what is this place? And I told them, to me, it's all about creativity, and it's all about having a place to chat and discuss the things that we're working on, and some of the struggles and the hardships and and victories, and just somehow put it together. And then Michael and I came up with all these different words, and then for me, I just went online and searched for the domain name Creative Tavern. I was like, the Creative Tavern, and it was, lo and behold, it was actually available. So we snatched that up, and so now we actually have this place, or this name, and I'm super excited because I know for a fact that on my channel, I always ask people to share what they're doing, like art, and they do. And they upload it to Discord, and we looked at it and talk about it, and it's so cool. So I always tell people, my channel is a platform for you guys. So this new channel that Michael and I are opening up, it's all for you guys too. I mean, obviously, Michael and I are kind of in charge of it, but the thing is, it's we're going to be presenting our projects, but not just our projects, but your projects as well. If you guys are willing to share, if you guys are willing to, explain and take us on a journey of how of whatever project you were on, what were the difficulties, what made you happy, what made you sad, what were the challenges, and just it's a place to have just edify one another, just to lift each other up, give each other encouragement, because sometimes people they feel very discouraged on doing something until they actually meet someone else and say, yeah, I actually went through that problem, and all you gotta do is this, or here's some advice. It may work, it may not work. Kind of like, for example, like I had a lot of issues, doing a stream this past 2 weeks, right? But then I had to go and search and find what is the solution to OBS not dropping on me on Twitch, right? And I finally found it. What if there was a place to actually go there and do that and just be like, hey, hi, you guys, my name's Chris. I'm having this Twitch issue. Does anyone here know? Oh, Chris knows. Okay, how can I do it? You just download a previous version of OBS. Oh, perfect. Oh, it works. It could be that. It could be something else. It could be like, oh man, I'm struggling with drawing. How can I practice? And who do I look at for inspiration? Or like, oh, I love to do writing, but I suck at writing. I'm horrible with words, and I don't know any story structure. Who can I talk to? Well, there's this guy named Michael. He actually wrote a book about. Hold on, let me see if I could find this book. He actually wrote this book called Blockbuster Blueprint that actually teaches people how to write a best selling story, right? And then so it's just a culmination of people coming together, sharing their ideas, sharing their struggles, and it's just a cool place to hang out, yeah, basically. hopefully that makes sense. I know I kind of rambled on a little bit there, but yeah, I mean, if Dr. Pepper, you're working on a Blender project, if you have any issues, if you have things you want to share, just be like, hey guys, this is what I'm working on. Our channel is a platform for you to share your work and your progress as well. Same with you, AJ, and same with you, Gentleman Heavy. So yeah, hopefully that I didn't go too long, did I? Sorry, sorry. But yeah,
No, that's
Michael, do you
great.
have anything you want to add?
That was a fantastic overview. Very well said. Good description of the like what's kind of like at the core, the heart of this thing. The only thing that I would add to that would be from the gamer perspective, I kind of really see the Creative Tavern as a a meeting place where we can come together and talk about creative adventures. Uh, and where creative adventurers can come together. Um, I perceive this as a place where we can both share cool creative things that we're working on with each other and also challenge each other, give out like creative quests, if you will, of like, hey, if you're on a journey to get better at drawing, here's some things you can try. If you're on a journey to, make a video game, like here's some things that we can do, some challenges you can take on to learn Unity. Um, but it's really just to play it, very much like in a video game, like an MMO, or, I don't know if King is watching, but in the world of Dungeons and Dragons, the tavern is usually the place where like you go and you get the initial quest, right? Um, so I perceive it as both this place where we can gather and relax, and you can, have a virtual beer,
Mm,
and hang out with me and Chris and other guests that we're going to have on. We're going to bring in other people who are doing creative work, that we'd like to share with you guys. Um, so it's a place to do that, and it's also a place to push yourself, to push ourselves creatively, and to try to do to take on creative quests, if you will,
mhm.
and see where they might lead us. So we're both really excited about this, and I'm glad
Yeah.
we can finally talk about it.
Finally, the only thing that was like stopping us from starting was the stupid logo that you guys are seeing right now. Um, yeah,
Logo
and
design's hard.
oh God, look, I have so much respect for graphic designers because they make something look so simple, look super easy to design, but it really is not, man. Like in order to design something simple and easy to read and have a lot of meaning behind it, God, it's so hard. But with that said, though, I actually put our twitch.tv the Creative Tavern link in there. Feel free, you guys, to click on it and make a follow, so that next week when we do start stream, you guys will be able to see the both of us. I mean, it's more or less going to be the same format, but it's just instead of on Lead Design Studio, it's going to be on the Creative Tavern. So, and I'm thinking, I kind of want to do like a fun little giveaway or something like that on our first meeting. Because obviously, if you guys don't know, I design pins, like cute enamel pins, right? Maybe like the first 5 people who are there or sign up or do something. I'll talk to Michael about it. We'll figure it out. It'll be like a little opening party and do a little giveaway, and it'll be fun and interesting. Hopefully, fingers crossed. But yeah, so if you guys are go ahead and follow that link and follow and click the follow button, and we'll definitely go from there, man. And this is very exciting. Obviously, we're still very new. We don't have a lot of followers. That's okay. I don't really care. As long as the people who are watching are there, I'm happy. And as long as we're able to share what we're doing and to see what you guys are doing, that that's the most important thing right now.
And if people want to tune in next time, when can they see us next?
They could see us. What's today? Today's Wednesday. They could see us Sunday at 7 p.m. PST. So the schedule that Michael and I have been doing is essentially 7 p.m. PST on Wednesdays and Sundays. So those are the 2 days that we always meet up. And sometimes we have things to show, sometimes we don't have things to show, but it doesn't matter. We still meet up just to keep it consistent, right?
Yep,
Yeah,
perfect.
yeah, yeah.
Cool.
Cool. Super, super exciting. Yay. Finally, 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 finally. Uh,
It's
oh,
real.
it's real. Yeah, it's finally real. And like Michael, do you think it's okay for us to go into the Q&A section to let
Oh
the
yeah,
chat
absolutely.
ask any questions to us regarding anything at all? Like Michael and I have worked in the theme park industry for a long time. We're creating a video game. Do we know what we're doing? We think we kind of have an idea what we're doing. We could try to give you a good answer, but sometimes it's hard. But if you guys have any questions at all, please let us know. And I'm just gonna go ahead and press stop share.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Go ahead, Michael.
uh, I was gonna say, well, while we're waiting for a question to come in, but Dr. Pecker's already asked
Oh,
a question. How long do you usually stream for? Want to take that one, Chris?
that's a good question. We've been averaging around an hour and a half per stream, and yeah, I mean that's. But if we go over, we just go over. But all I know is that we start at 7 p.m. and then we just keep talking until we're done with our recap, with our design, and our Q&A. If there's no one with any questions, then we just say, "All right, guys, see you next time." But there is no like, "Oh, we do 3 hours every stream." We don't have that. We just basically start from 7 and then we just keep going until either we get tired or there's nothing else to talk about.
Yep, that's
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah.
Um, Anime Jesus says, I think I missed it. Oh no.
Wait, which part did you miss?
Yeah.
We had a whole big dog and pony show, man.
When will Creative Tavern start?
It will start next our next what is it? Our next session, which will
Hmm.
be Sunday 7 p.m.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. So Sunday
Um,
next this upcoming Sunday at 7 p.m. Look for go click on the twitch.tv/ the creative tavern, go there and you can join us there. Or if you forget, you could still come to my channel because my channel will be hosting the creative tavern as well. So yeah.
perfect.
Yeah.
Um, okay, while we're waiting for any additional questions to come in, one thing that I was going to say is because you had mentioned, like, do we know what we're doing? I don't know. um, the one of our friends put it really eloquently, and that was that we may not like have any experience making a video game, like so we've never done that before, but we do have a lot of experience doing other very complicated creative projects.
Mhm.
So there's a lot of experience and learning that we bring from like the theme park industry, for example, which really has a lot of there's so much that is analogous between video games and the theme park industry, where you're basically creating if a three-dimensional world for somebody to experience. But in video games, you don't have to actually go and buy steel and build a physical constructed thing. A building that also has to have air conditioning and fire code compliance and all these other things that we have to deal
Safety.
with
Yep.
in the theme park. Yeah, safety is another one too. Like
Yeah.
in the video game, you can actually kill the player. Like it's
Yeah.
fine.
Yep.
That makes the game more interesting. You
Yep.
can't do that in the theme park world. Like
Right.
that it's frowned upon to actually kill the guests.
Yes.
Um, but anyway, so with that said, this is something that is kind of interesting for us. It's we bring a lot of creative experience on creative projects, but we're pivoting in such a way where we're doing something that we've never done before. So I think that
Mhm.
creates this unique opportunity for viewers, for you guys to see both people who have a lot of experience working in the creative process, because it is that alone is something you have to learn how to do. It's not something that just comes naturally. It takes a lot of work and a lot of practice to be able to do creative work. But at the same time, so there's a lot to learn there from, I hope, from us. But at the same time, you also get to see us do something we've never done before. So you get to see us
Right.
stumble and see like
Hmm. Hmm.
it's still hard. Like even having all this experience, it's still difficult, and there's still things that we're going to have to work hard at to figure out. And I think both those things are really valuable, or at least that's my hope, is that both those angles, those viewpoints are providing some value on this creative adventure we're all on together. So
Yeah, no, very, very well put, Michael. And and hold on, before I read Dr. Pepper's thing, but and I also want to say that yeah, like what Michael has experienced in his field, while he was at Disney and Universal, as well as all the things that he knows about storytelling, and same with me, all the things that I've experienced at Disney and Universal, and working a little bit in the game industry. That's all the stuff that we know how to do. We've had experience with that. But Michael and I have basically joined forces together to do something that we don't really know how to do, but at the same time we're like learning it. We're learning it from the ground, just like how Dr. Pepper asked, like, how long have you guys been doing Unity? And not, I mean, I'm pretty sure he's
not
looking
very
at us
long.
like, yeah, you guys probably don't know what you guys are
Don't even
doing
know how
in
to put a
Unity. Yeah,
skybox in there.
yeah,
Come on.
yeah, but that's the thing. That's exactly what we're talking about. We don't know how to do it yet, but we will learn bit by bit, day by day, take one step at a time, and then we'll build something awesome. And again, just like how Michael said, we hope to show you guys that if we can do it, that we can actually inspire you guys to actually do it as well. So yeah. And one thing that you'll learn, me saying, is do it day by day, bit by bit. Then you just take one piece at a time. You don't have to you know try to finish everything all at once, because it's very, very daunting when you look at a huge project and you're like, oh my god, how am I supposed to do this? But just like how Michael and I broke down our game today, 5 different sections, and then just tackle each one, and then it's like we'll figure it out. Oh god, how do you do this? And then from there we just dive in and just solve that problem. And yeah, so hopefully we are leading is not the right word. We're doing it by the example to show you guys, if we can do it, if you guys put effort into it as well, perseverance, you guys can do it as well. And oh yeah, so anyways, getting back to Dr. Pepper. Dr. Pepper asked, are there things you've designed in real life? Like, I know you said you worked in the theme park industry. Is there anything I can go and see and be like, I know who designed that? Okay. That's a awesome question. Michael, do you want to go first?
Uh, yeah, I'm happy to go first, but I think your answer is going to be much more interesting than mine. Um, so th there are two. Uh, oh wait, actually, Dr. Parker said ads. Um, I don't want to respond until we're.
Oh,
Are you
oh,
still
shoot.
seeing ads, Dr. Pecker, or are you back? Because you
Hold on.
asked
Let
this
me,
question, so we want to make sure we're
yeah,
answering when you can actually see and hear us.
hold on. Are the ads done? We will answer when it's done.
Okay,
Oh, he said it's done. Yeah. High five. Yeah.
great.
Welcome back.
All right. So the two-part answer to that question for me, um, there are absolutely things that I've worked on that you can go and experience and ride and be like, oh wow, I know the guys who worked on that, or you know. However, in the theme park industry, I was a producer, so I don't actually do the design work directly myself. I just manage the artists and the modelers and the art directors and all the people who are involved in the creative process of you know, designing and concepting and envisioning this thing into existence. So I don't personally design anything. That said, the two biggest claims to fame that I have are Shanghai Disneyland. I was on the Fantasyland team on that project. So when we built that park, um, back in like, I was in China for like 2014 to 20, almost 2016, something like that. Because I think we opened Shanghai Disneyland in 2016, I think.
2016. Yeah.
So I was on the Fantasyland team there, and Fantasyland in Shanghai Disneyland is enormous. It's huge, biggest castle in all of the Disney parks. And and Fantasyland's so big in Shanghai Disneyland, it's actually broken up into like three sublands. There's like the castle area, there's the Enchanted Forest area, and then there's like the sort of town village area. I was primarily working on the Enchanted Forest area, which included Seven Dwarfs Mine Train roller coaster, which is really cool. Um, I did two Winnie the Pooh rides there, a theater, and a restaurant, the Tangled Tree Tavern, which was like a restaurant based off of uh, the Ugly Duckling uh, tavern in the movie Tangled from Disney. So that was my Shanghai Disneyland experience. And then most recently, I spent 3 years in Japan in Osaka working on Super Nintendo World, which was amazing.
Mm.
My proudest professional achievement. It was really hard, but yeah. So if you go to Osaka, Japan, and go to Super Nintendo World, you'll get to see the green warp pipes and the beautiful Peach's Castle
Mhm,
and
mhm.
our lovely Mount Beanpole, which is this mountain made out of like this sort of grass and dirt strata that Mario jumps on to platform in his levels with the little flag at the top and the Yoshi ride. Um, that's what I worked on. The one big thing in Super Nintendo World that I didn't work on was the Mario Kart ride, which is like a whole different team, but amazing. Like that ride is really incredible. I've heard really great things about it, but I didn't work on that. So I worked on the exterior on the Super Mario kind of area. Um, yeah. So anyway, so if you go check those things out, you guys are like, hey, I know Michael. Like he worked on this.
Yeah, yeah, that's freaking awesome. And
How
for
about
the
you, Chris?
oh yeah, so for the Super Mario Mario Kart, I worked on that. So whatever Michael didn't work on, I worked on. So yeah, a little bit about myself, the things that I worked on. Hold on, hopefully you could see that. Um, and this is a photo of, oh, that's weird. So if you can see, that's me right there. Yay, that
Ooh.
is me. This is when I was working at Walt Disney Imagineering, and this is essentially my website. And some of the projects I've worked on I've listed it down below here. I was also a part of the Universal Studio Japan Osaka team. We designed the Super Nintendo World, and I worked on this part right here. Michael worked on this whole land, like everything you see here, it's all him. And I am working inside the Mario Kart's Bowser Castle in this little part right here. I've also got a chance to work on the Star Wars Galaxy Edge. It's the Star Wars theme park both in Anaheim and Orlando. I was one of the initial core member concept designers, you know, trying to concept out and figuring out what the land would entail, what it would have, all the content inside. So that was actually a lot of fun. What else to say with that? So there's that, and I also got a chance to work on the Shanghai Disneyland Tomorrowland project. I was the lead concept artist and designer for the Buzz Lightyear Planet Rescue attraction. This one was my first big attraction at Disney, and I'm super proud of it. And unfortunately, it's based in Shanghai, so if I ever want anyone to go see both, the Mario Kart or Buzz Lightyear, they're both in Asia, which is kind of, hard to see. But you could always Google it and or watch it on YouTube. And another thing I worked on a lot of Star Wars stuff. The Star Wars season of the Force overlay. You know how every time in every season in Disneyland they would change and put overlays on stuff. Sometimes they would put Star Wars overlays on Disneyland and or uh, Disney Hollywood studio, I would be the one that would be concepting out what it would look like. And I've also worked on the Star Wars launch bay, and I worked in a little bit of the game design in here in Las Vegas. Worked on this game called End of Nations, which nothing ever came out. It was with the company called Petroglyph, and Tron was the producer of the game, but this game did not come out. And since then, I've been working on other small exhibits to kind of create immersive experiences for guests for like Transformers and other stuff. I don't think I can say it yet. I've also worked on like Netflix specials when they want an immersive experience. They also just work. I work with the company that hires them, and then I would be the one that's designing that space for them. And this was created in Jeju, Korea. So yeah, so yes, definitely. I think you can say that, I know Michael and Chris, they were involved in these projects. And yeah, so and just really quick, these are some of the designs that I've done when I was in school. I am a environment artist by trade, that I've been, training. However, my love, my passion is more or less like anime and girly stuff and character design and whatnot. That's what I want to do, creating cute pins. So yeah, that's just a little bit of a background of what Michael and I have been doing, our our past experience. So we just came together and we're trying out something new. Um, Partly because of the whole COVID situation, we were, we a lot of projects got shut down, and then so we have a lot of time in our hands. And then Michael and I were, having a conversation like, you know what, Michael, you're talented, I'm talented, you have free time, I have free time. We really should be doing something together. Let's do something together. And then lo and behold, we, tried like concepted, blue skied a whole bunch of different projects together, and finally we decided let's do a video game together. Yeah, yeah, that sounds good. Because before we like came up with like card game, a board game, a novel, illustrated novel, which something that's something that Michael I still want to do. I still want to do a illustrated book novel with you. Like how one book has 10 chapters and each chapter has one illustration
Hmm.
for that chapter. I
Totally.
still want to do that, man, but one thing at a time, obviously, or
Yeah.
else nothing gets done, right?
Right.
So hopefully that answers your question, Dr. Pepper. We even though you watch us and your opinions will be like, oh man, these guys don't know what they're doing. But trust us, we've been in the industry for quite some time. Michael knows exactly what he's doing with all his past experience. I know with my experience, I know what to expect, and I know what the pitfalls are. And one thing that we both learned is that it's all about perseverance and just doing it day by day and not giving up. And trust me, if we gave up, then you can't survive in this industry if you give up. You just gotta you gotta do whatever it takes in order to get the objective completed. So hopefully that answers your question, Dr. Pepper. Great question. Sorry that probably was very, very long-winded. Yeah.
No,
Do you
that
guys
was great.
Yeah, thanks, man. Do you guys have any other questions? Please let us know. While they ask their question, Michael, did you know that today when I tried to play Overwatch, there was a DDoS attack
No.
on Battle.net or something like that?
Oh, really?
Yeah, I could not get in. In order to actually play, I had to wait like like not even seven, like 10 minutes. They're like putting us in a queue line for us to actually get into the game.
Whoa.
Yeah, I tried logging in and it just did not want me to log in at all. Dr. Pepper asks, what is your advice for someone wanting to get in the industry?
Um, I'm guessing the theme park industry, right?
Mm.
That must be what Dr. Pecker's asking. Um, do you want to go first? Do you want to field that one?
Sure, sure. That is it's a very versatile it's a good question, but the answer there's various a whole bunch of answers I could give. What I can say is my experience was that I went to school and one of my teachers was a creative director at Walt Disney Imagineering. And because I wasn't the best student, but because I was one of those students who actually listened to their teachers, whatever the teacher said and or taught or gave advice on, I actually followed. And if he gave me feedback, I followed it, right? And essentially, I took his class and I we found out that he works at Disney, so that's cool. And then so at the end of the class, he actually gave us intern interviews, intern for an interview for an internship at Disney. So of course, if there's an opportunity like that, I went ahead and I'm like, yes, I want to try it out because it's an internship. I'm in college. I definitely need to do it. And then so I interviewed the first year. I didn't get it. I didn't get it. I didn't get in. Some other guy got in, and I'm like, mother for oh, jealous, jealous, you know. And then so I didn't get it, right? But the second year, I took his class again, and it was a different class. It was still like a digital class, a digital drawing class. And then I at the end of the term, he gave all the students that he liked an opportunity to interview for the internship. And the second time, I got it. Yay! Oh, yay! And then that more or less was my uh, uh, door foot in the door, foot in the door. Is
Hmm.
that the
Hmm.
saying? Yeah, foot in the door into the industry was uh I guess I was lucky slash fortunate enough to actually get meet a teacher who actually worked in Disney or worked at Disney, and then that's how I got the internship was one um to go to a school. I guess here are the steps. This this I went to school, therefore I met the teacher, and then the teacher gave me the interview, and then from the interview I got the internship, and from the internship I got into that company. So that in itself it was my experience of how I got into Disney, and from there working at Disney, got out of Disney, and then through Michael, actually got me into Universal Studios and was able to. I was blessed enough to actually travel to Japan, live there for like about a year or so. That was like the best time ever. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, thank you,
You're
thank you.
welcome.
That was awesome. And then from there, and then I started doing freelance, and because of my experience in Walt Disney Imagineering and Universal, I had to work with various vendors. After working with those vendors, they liked all the stuff that I did. So even though I wasn't with Disney anymore, they still contacted me to do some freelance projects for other clients as well. So essentially, it's just one foot after another. You just keep doing projects, meeting new people, meeting new people. So it's very, 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 very important to meet as many people as you can. And also, we'll talk a little bit more about how you should present yourself when you're in the professional setting. But essentially, just meet more people, meet people, meet people, meet people. Because a lot of the times when I am in school, when you're in school, they don't teach you anything else except technical skills. They're like, this is how you draw a straight line. This is how you move a cube, right? But in school, they don't teach you that you got to make connections. You got to make social connections. You got to learn how to be able to talk to people, how to present yourself, how to pitch an idea, how to do this, how to do that. And I guess that's one of the things that in our channel, I want to share with you guys what I didn't learn in school because I don't want you guys to have to go through 10 years of trying to figure out on your own. I could just tell you right off the bat, this is what you have to do. Know people, be good at what you do, and and get to know a lot of people because 50% of the your journey is through people getting the gigs. Because I would hire Michael over someone like three times as qualified as, I'm sorry, the camera is it's a little bit flipped. I would hire Michael versus someone who is maybe three times more qualified than Michael because it doesn't matter how qualified that guy is. Because I know Michael, I've dealt with him before. I know he's reliable. He does a great job. Therefore, I'm going to hire Michael. Therefore, I'm going to hire Chris because they get their shit done. And so that's man, that question made me go off on a whole other tangent. Anyways, so my journey, my advice to you, to get into the in whatever industry is to talk to those people in the industry. If you know of any person who's in that industry that you want to be in, email them, get to know them, talk to them, and if they're teaching a class, take their class. just maybe you can go through and, and go into that industry by the whole educational route, right? So that's my two. Social network. Yep, exactly what AJ said. So that's my answer. I'm gonna stop. Michael, you go ahead.
Man, bravo, well done. That was very, very well said. Um, I The only thing that I can really add to that is to just highlight some of the things that Chris said. That idea of knowing people is absolutely essential. Really, probably in any industry, in the theme park industry in particular. Um, it's something that it's a kind of industry that I think is like really hard to get into, but once you're in, then it's pretty easy to bounce around and get other jobs and kind of just stay in the industry. Overcoming that first hurdle of getting in the door though is pretty hard.
Right.
And I think there's a couple, and that really just requires like you need to be in the right place at the right time. You need to meet the right person. I mean, that's how I got in the industry. Is I didn't grow up and well, I grew up and always had like an interest in the theme park industry, but it wasn't like, hey, I'm gonna go to school and learn how to become a producer, and that's what I'm gonna study, and then I'm gonna, get an internship and I'm gonna be a producer. I was kind of on like a whole different path. Met somebody who then introduced me to the industry, and then from there, people, basically gave me my first job, and were like, hey, you're actually pretty good at this, kid. Like, we want to keep working with you. And from there, you can kind of start building up a reputation because, like what Chris said, it's it is a lot less important to the people who are working on the projects and the people who are making hiring decisions how like qualified you are. Is Don't get me wrong, that's important, and there are certain boxes you have to check, and if you don't, no matter how awesome you are, you're not going to get the job. But if even if you have a lot of awesome qualifications, you are still at a disadvantage to somebody who is known, because if I've worked with Chris before, and we need an artist, I know Chris. I've worked with him before. He's a known quantity. There are all these unknown variables that I don't have to worry about. If I'm going with somebody that I've never worked with before, they might have a really talented portfolio, but I'm taking a risk. I'm taking a chance on them because sometimes people are really talented and they're total a-holes. They
Hmm.
suck at interacting with people, and they can make a whole team miserable and just cause all kinds of problems. And then you got to unplug that person and send them on, and then you got to do damage control with the team. It's a big mess. So if you can find somebody who like, oh yeah, I know this person's personality, I know their work style, I know they're going to fit into this team just great. Because that's another thing with the theme park industry is more than I think a lot of other industries that I've worked in, like outside of the theme park industry, it's hugely collaborative. There's so many teams, and there's like
Yeah.
teams within teams, and like, there are intra-team dynamics and inter-team dynamics. So there are dynamics with people who are all within the same team, and then all those people interacting with other teams. And there's just so many different departments that are involved. It's that is a skill all unto itself, is just learning how to interact with like, well, yeah, I'm a concept designer, and so I do a lot of work in like Photoshop, and I can talk to art directors and stuff because they speak my language. But I also have to learn how to talk to project managers who are talking about schedule and Gantt charts and things. And I also have to know how to interpret what I'm doing for the engineer who's working on the steel armature that's going to be holding up this piece of show set. Like, there's so many things that you have to be able to integrate into the work that you're doing with other people, that becomes really valuable. And when you know that somebody can do that, it makes it so much easier to be like, oh yeah, I know a guy. Like, we'll go with this guy. So the point of
Hmm.
all that is just to say, yes, that social network is probably the most important thing for getting jobs in the industry. It's just getting that first one is really hard. So
Right.
how do you do that? Well, my advice there is a little mixed because it's kind of a crapshoot. Really, like, all the different people that I've talked to in the industry all have like a different story. There's some similarities there. Like, I've known a couple people who have a similar story to Chris, where they like were studying a particular discipline, got an internship that then led to a full-time position with the company. But there are other people who come from all kinds of crazy walks of life. Are like, oh yeah, man, like I wasn't, intent, like I was, running this shop over here selling surfboards, and now I'm, managing this project. Um, and I'm kind of one of those stories where like I just happened to, get kind of sucked into the industry kind of by accident, but ended up being a really good fit. So I stuck around. Um, but one of the ways that I think is probably the most like accessible to a lot of people, if you're really interested in the theme park industry, and it's still not, it's still not a surefire thing, but it will give you proximity and potential access to the people you need to connect with. And that is uniquely in the theme park industry, you can go work in operations, which is the part of the theme park process where, so because like on the the theme parks industry basically operates where you've got like an ownership company who it wants to make the theme park, right? Then they bring on a team to design the theme park. And then that team expands to be able to bring on more people who can actually build the thing that got designed. And then once that's done, that completed project gets handed over to another team of people who know how to operate it, who know how to run it, who know how to like turn the rides on and how to guide guests through queue lines and how to maintain vending machines and order all the food that is needed. So you kind of have those three components. You've got like the executive people who are making all the decisions about what gets done. You've got the design build team, which is where Chris and I live. So if you really want to be an Imagineer and you want to like design and build theme parks, that's the bubble you want to live in. And then the third one is the operations team, and that's the people who get handed the keys to the theme park project when we're done. We say like, okay, we're all done building it. Here you go. Here's the instruction manuals. Go ahead and operate the theme park. Turn on the cash registers and let the guests in. It's much easier to get a job in the operations piece of it because they're constantly in need of additional cast members and people who can operate the theme park, because some of these theme park operations are huge. Walt Disney World employs like, I think it's like 50,000 people or something. It's some
A lot.
astronomical number.
Right.
And I know people in the industry in our bubble, in the design build bubble, who came from operations. Quite a few people, actually. And one of the things that's so awesome about them, even though it can be difficult to move from operations to like Imagineering, for example, one of the things that's so cool about those people is they have this really in-depth understanding of how what we're doing in the design build phase will translate in reality to operations. Because there's some things that look good on paper and we're like, oh yeah, that's going to be really cool and that's going to be wonderful. But when you actually build it, you realize like, oh no, there's this huge bottleneck here, or guests aren't, moving through this space the way that we thought that they were going to, or oh geez, this thing is, we didn't intend for it to see this much traffic or to be this popular. The people from operations can see those things before you even get there in a lot of cases.
Right.
So to wrap all that up, put a little bow on it for you, the two pieces of advice I would say are to jump on to what Chris was saying. It's not what you know, it's who you know. You really need to build that network and find people who know you, trust you, and like you enough to drop you a line when like, oh, hey, this position just opened up. I think you should apply for it. Because what's going to happen there is you're going to bypass the 10,000 resumes that get submitted through the online portal, which honestly, most of those just go into a black hole. Nobody's ever going to read those because a lot of them get screened by AI programs and algorithms before they ever get to a person.
Right.
The HR department's favorite thing, though, is when somebody who's already hired on the company says, oh, I have a recommendation. I'm Michael Welker. I'm the producer on this project. We need an artist. I know one. His name's Chris Lee. Look at his portfolio. Trust me, he's going to be great. Because then they don't have to, they don't have to take a risk, which HR departments hate. Like anything that they can do to avoid taking a risk and to bet on as close to a sure thing as possible, human resources and project management are going to want to do that. So if you can get into that position where you know people who will then vouch for you and say like, hey, this project came up, there's an opening, here it is. That's the way you're going to get jobs. That's the way you're going to get into the industry and stay into the industry. So that's number one. And number two is basically in order to start building that network of people, that's tricky, but those people are out there, and one way to do that is to get into the operations side of things, because then you can actually start interacting with other people and potentially have some proximity to people who are doing the design build stuff. Because I know plenty of people in the design build in the Imagineering space, um, who started that way, who started off as like, oh yeah, I started as a janitor, and then I went on to become, a ride operator, and then eventually one day, you guys were building a new ride, and you needed to commission it, but you needed people to do training and to do testing on it. So I was there. I got to participate in the training thing, and I got to hang out with so and so all for 8 hours a day for a whole month. We became really good friends. Then this opening for a project coordinator came up, and he recommended me, and that's how I got the job. So there are lots of stories like that, and I think that is that's the way in. It's you definitely need to know what you want to do, but it's absolutely essential to get your foot in the door, get a connection to somebody who can vouch for you. So there you go.
Yeah.
Ramble complete.
Yeah, no, I think that's great. I mean, wasn't like when you say operation, that reminds me like one person like John Lasseter, right? Wasn't he like
Mm,
the was it Jungle Cruise?
the Jungle Cruise captain, yeah.
Right? I mean, he started there and then he essentially worked all way up until like the head
So
of
who's head of
Pixar.
Pixar?
Yeah, so that is, yeah, like Michael said, do whatever you can to get yourself into get your foot into the door, and then from there on you'll be able to discover, different positions, you meet new people and just get saturated inside whatever environment slash profession you are in. So hopefully that answers your question, Dr. Pepper. Yeah, that was a great question. That was two
Yeah,
long answers.
yeah. Spent 30 minutes answering that one question.
Yeah, yeah. Anime Jesus says social network. That's how I got my job. Social network is OP. He says I found
Yup.
a teacher in my profession whose class I took. He had tons of epic connections. Yeah, see, I made sure to get an A grade and always greeted him whenever I saw him, even after class was over. Smart. To keep the story short, I work in New York Times now. Holy cow!
Wow.
Damn.
Good job. That's a household name for sure.
I'm playing the clapping
Oh, okay.
thing. Yeah. Yay. That was cool. That was cool. Good job, Anime Jesus. That is awesome. Holy cow, New York Times. That's great, dude.
I've heard of that company.
Me too. um, yeah, that's great. So yeah, if you guys can, again, I want to share with you guys our new channel that we will be doing. Make sure you guys sign up there, follow, and then so this upcoming Sunday we will be streaming there. But if you forget, that's fine too, because if you come to my channel, I will be hosting the Creative Tavern. I'm sure Michael will be hosting Creative Tavern soon. If he opens up
Yeah, I can do that.
his Twitch account, he could direct it over there. And yeah, make sure to give Michael. Sorry, my camera is flipped, so every time I point to you
Mm,
on my screen, but
yeah.
it's actually going this way. Make sure to follow Michael, his little
That
his
way is-
thing
now
down
I'm
there,
pointing at you.
twitch.tv, ML Welker. Give him a follow as well, right? And Dr. Peppers asked one last question for me. So we're not holding you guys for too long. Oh yeah, no problem. What type of music do you guys listen to? Michael, you go first.
Sure. The short answer to that question is mostly instrumental music, specifically soundtracks to movies, a lot of video games. I like some music with that it has lyrics and stuff, but I'm not very up to date. Most of the music I listen to is when I'm like writing or coding or doing stuff. And if there's any lyrics, I get distracted, so I need just instrumental. So most recently, I've been listening to the Batman soundtrack by Michael Giacchino, which is good. It's real broody and like uh,
Wait, I thought Hans Zimmer did. Oh wait, which Batman are you talking about?
you're I'm talking about the Batman with
Oh, the Bruce.
the the new one
Val,
with
Val
the guy from
yeah,
Edward from
yeah, yeah,
Twilight.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
What's
I
his
can't,
Robert
I can't.
Pattinson.
Robert Pattinson, yeah. Okay, you're listening to that one. Cool.
Yeah, it's really good.
Nice, nice, nice. That's awesome. My answer is the same as Michael's. I love OTS. I love original soundtrack. Some of my favorite ones are Battlestar Galactica, the Rock from the movie, Nicolas Cage, The Rock.
Mm.
Da 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 da. Just same with Michael. Like whenever I draw, I need music that's like dun 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 dun. Dun, like a 3/4 beat that gets my blood pumping, right? So I listen to original soundtracks as well as funny enough, in my previous Twitch, the music I was listening to are musicals. I myself, I love listening to musicals such as like Annie, The Producers, Chicago, stuff like that. But when I listen to those kind of music, same with Michael. If I'm typing an email, I can't have it on because words frack up my concentration. But when I'm drawing, I can listen to anything. But when I'm actually typing, I cannot listen to any music with words. So yeah. Anime Jesus says, "Ja, ja, ja, that sounds awesome while drawing." Yep, 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 yep. Yeah. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah. The sorry, when you said Batman, I thought you were talking about the Hans Zimmer one with the Dark
Which
Knight
is amazing.
Returns. Yeah, it's hey hey ha ha hey
Oh
hey
yeah,
ha
from Dark
ha
Knight
yeah yeah
Rises.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh God, I love that. It's so
Oh
good.
yeah, where he's like climbing out of the pit and
Yep
they're like
yep
cheering him on.
yeah yeah. So
Yeah, that's I remember looking that up. There it's like this phrase in a specific language and I think it means something like he rises or something. So they're
uh
actual words. Um yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. That
yeah
chant though
yeah
is oh man, it's so
yeah.
good.
And also one of my favorite OTS is the Phantom Menace uh uh
Duel of the Fates.
yeah, there you go, Duel of the Face. Da 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 da. It's so good.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yep. Yeah, John Williams is amazing. Hans Zimmer's really good too. I
Yeah,
also really
yeah.
like James Newton Howard,
Mm,
who does quite a few things really. Like he's got a really extensive musical career. One soundtrack that a lot of people sleep on that's really good from James Newton Howard is the soundtrack to the movie Dinosaur, which was a bad movie. It was like the Disney movie where they did like live action backgrounds where they shot these like, beautiful jungle scenes and then they animated computer generated dinosaurs and lemurs and stuff into it. Not a very good movie.
mm,
The graphics are really good. Uh, but wow, the soundtrack's
mm.
incredible. So
Nice, nice.
pro insider tip for James Newton Howard fans
Cool.
out there.
I did not know that at all. But that's cool, man. Thank you for that. That's great. Dr. Pepper says Darth Maul. I love that one. Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
When he like and then it's like
Da,
yeah.
da, 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 da.
Yeah. I do have a piece on the piano that I can play that but it's so hard. It's super advanced. You're like and
Yeah, yeah.
then at the same time you're still playing so it's just like
Mhm.
oh my God, this is so difficult. It's a lot of fun. But man, it gets my just talking about it gets my blood pressure it rises, it
Yeah.
rises. Yeah. So that good question. Good question. So yeah, Michael and I more or less have the same taste in music. So that's cool. Yeah. Any other questions? Any other questions? Don't feel you're rushing us or anything. We're happy to be here to chat with you guys. Anything else? If not, maybe we'll call it a night. This has been an awesome stream, except for the fact that I accidentally forgot to turn on the audio channel for Michael, and then all of a sudden I forgot to turn it on for myself after I turn it on for Michael. It's user error. But we didn't get
We didn't drop
disconnected at
once.
all, so that's freaking amazing. We figured it out, and so just Michael talking to you that um, now that we fix this problem, we don't have to rush and have you host or anything like that. So as long as it's looking good right now. So if we
Yeah.
just stay on if I host the creative tavern, then that's fine with me too. So now that we fixed this stupid connecting issue. So yeah, cool.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, in
Nice.
that case, I mean, I don't have anything else, so happy to see you guys next time, Sunday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time
Hmm.
on the
Hmm.
new channel, Creative Tavern.
Yes, and you can not when you're not on the Creative Tavern, you could always find me here on twitch.tv/Lead Design Studio. And while I'm saying that, please go and subscribe to my YouTube channel, my own personal YouTube channel, Lead Design Studio. I'm trying to get 100 subscribers so that I can actually have my own custom name. If you already subscribed, thank you so much. I really, really appreciate your support. But if you haven't, please sign up so that I can actually have YouTube/C/ Lead Design Studio and not just blah 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 blah, right? So yeah, no, thank you guys so much again. And Michael, where can they find you?
You can find me at twitch.tv /ML Welker. I'm still in the process of learning OBS and Twitch and getting up and running, but I'm getting close. So you can find me there. I also have a book on Amazon, Blockbuster Blueprint, a step-by-step guide to writing a best-selling story. So if you want to check that out, that helps. And otherwise, you can find me here, hanging out with Chris every Wednesday and Sunday at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
Yeah, and the Blockbuster Blueprint is on Amazon, so make sure you can check it out there. Yeah, yeah, cool. Amy Jesus, take care, y'all. Thanks for the stream. No, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. And until then, we will not see you guys on my channel anymore. We will see you guys at the Creative Tavern. All right. Yeah. See you
Oh,
guys
should we
later.
raid somebody?
Oh, yeah, that's thank you so much. Really, really appreciate that.
Sure.
That
Thanks for
is
joining
great.
us, everybody. It was
Yeah.
great to hang out with you guys. You had really good suggestions and ideas for the game and good
Mhm, mhm.
questions.
Yeah.
It was fun to
So
hang out and talk.